I'm Chris Distefano.
I am Sal Vulcano.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it sounded like you said saddle.
It did.
You want to do it again?
Saddle.
Do it again.
I'm Saddle. See now it's in my head.
Yeah.
I'm Saddle.
You're Saddle.
I'm Salvatore, really.
Should we name the podcast Saddles with Blazing Saddles?
Christopher, you get called all the time. I rarely get called Salvatore.
Salvatore. My mother calls me Christopher.
Yeah.
All the time. My name is Christopher Paul Anthony Distefano. Paul was my dad said. So I was born in August 26, 1984. Christopher Paul Distefano. Anthony's confirmation.
Somebody's got a B-day coming up.
Yeah, I got a B-day coming up. But my dad wanted to name me Joe. Just J-O-E, Joe. Not Joseph, just Joe. And then wanted to change my middle name sometime around early 1985 because he had read around Christmas time that the #1 name of 1984 amongst homosexual men was Paul. So my dad...
What literature is he reading?
My dad... Well, that's the question my mother had. It was like, Tony, what...
Gay Annual?
Yeah, what are you reading?
Yeah.
That's the thing with my dad. It's been... my whole life has been like, are you gay?
Don't you wonder where your parents get their information? Because my parents dropped some bombs on me. And I'm like, where have you read this? And they're like, I read it. What does it matter?
What does it matter? Yeah. I mean, well, your dad, I've met your dad a few times. I mean, he's the most diesel 70-year-old I've ever met. Apple cider vinegar. When do you think, if you had to guess, is the last day he's not taking a shot of apple cider vinegar?
2 decades.
So you would say 20 years in a row consecutively hasn't missed a day.
He gets Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. Apparently the mother is like all that, they call it the mother.
Yeah.
It's all the extra like coagulated bits in there that give you the real nutrients.
Yeah.
He says it's a cure-all. It's an appetite suppressant. It's good for high blood pressure. It helps you sleep. It wards off infections. Blah, blah, blah. He takes it all the time. God bless him. He puts it in a shot glass with a teaspoon of raw honey. And he does it every single day. The guy's rarely sick.
Well, I'll tell you, when I did your cruise, when I was on the Impractical Jokers cruise a few months ago, I was worried about your father because I hadn't seen him in about 3 or 4 days. We're on the high seas. And then I went to the gift shop, and I saw that one apple cider vinegar container had been bought. And then I knew he was safe. I said, he's still here. Because I said to the lady, I said, when was this bought? And she said, about an hour ago. I said, you sure? And I didn't even have to ask who it was. I said, I know who it is. And he's safe in his room.
Did you ever take it?
I used to take it.
It's pretty pungent.
I would take that.
It's not an easy swallow.
I would take that I got to stop wearing shorts if we're going to do podcasts, by the way. Well, I got bruises and my legs are pasty freaking white.
Full disclosure, I was in shorts. We did a check to see what we looked like on camera.
Right.
I felt like I looked like Jabba the Hutt. I told you that.
I told you Jabba the Hutt.
I felt like I looked like him. I kind of look like Jabba the Hutt, and I have to do everything I can to then make you believe I don't look like Jabba the Hutt.
But then what you also said was funny. You said, I put on jeans because I don't want to look like a salted ham.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
That's right.
And it's funny that when a human being feels as if they look like a salted ham.
Sometimes a salted ham is very appealing. You ever work at a deli?
Well, I've never worked at a deli, but before, just so you clear and the audience is clear, I think about to ask me if I've ever had salted ham, and the answer quickly is no, because I've told you I've never had a pork chop, goat cheese, and never seen the movie The Godfather. So you need to know those 3 things about me if we're going to start this podcast.
Which is insane. So we just ordered lunch, which is on the way, and I ordered a pork chop, and you reminded me what I knew, which is you never had a pork chop. And by the way, pork chop, maybe my favorite cut of meat for dinner.
Interesting.
I don't have it often, and maybe that's why. But it is, when it's done right, it's harder to cook, but it's lean and perfect and juicy and succulent. It's not as heavy as a steak, and it's not as shitty as it's a real nice cut of meat.
Right.
Is there a reason you haven't had a pork chop?
I don't think my mother. Oh, I'm sorry. My aunt told me when I was a kid that if you put salt on a pork chop and leave it out in the sun, maggots will come out of it, which I think is true for any meat. But she told me, I don't know if that's true.
But you don't mean you mean they have to first grow, bake in the heat, and then grow, just like any other bacteria. You don't think there's like benign maggots in pork chops that just don't come out unless they get salted?
I thought any piece of meat, like if I had a chicken cutlet right now and I left it out in the sun, maggots would come out of it.
How long?
I don't know.
Raw?
But here's the thing.
Raw.
Raw.
Oh, raw.
Raw.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you leave a piece of raw meat out in the sun over time, you're gonna get maggots.
Maggots
I think
are
if you
good, but
leave
are the maggots
I think
coming-
if you leave a body out in the sun over time, you're gonna get maggots.
But does that mean that the maggots are inside my body right now and they get activated with the sun?
No, I don't think there's maggots that are just keeping it on the down
So then
low.
where do the maggots come from inside the body? If I haven't touched the body.
For me, it's unclear, and I don't want to speak out
Yeah.
of. I don't want to make you feel like I have authority on maggots.
Yeah.
And I don't really know much about much, but I think that what happens is bacteria begins to form, and then something conjoils about,
Right.
and then something connects, and then maggots come out of that. Like they're birthed out of like
Cells or something?
bacteria.
It's very. I don't know, but it's just always been a mind blowing
What happens?
thing.
Let me blow your mind one more step.
Yeah.
What happens when you leave maggots out in the sun?
Do maggots come out of maggots?
Who knows?
That's the kind of questions we're asking here on this podcast.
We don't know what the podcast is yet.
We don't know what the podcast is yet, and we don't know the name yet. We're thinking right now, Hey Babe, with Chris and Sal, or Sal and Chris present Hey Babe. Or
We don't know what to call it. I mean, I don't think we've ever addressed each other without saying "Hey, babe" first.
Hey Babe first. And there are other podcasts.
Your idea, his idea, and I was like, you know what? That makes sense to me.
Yeah. And then, would our fan base be the Hey Babes, the Hays? Could be the Babes.
Could be the babes.
Could be the Babes. But it's just one of those things where we're not sure yet. We just wanted to start a podcast because we feel that we
have a lot of fun together. So we've been trying to start a podcast for like over a year.
over here, me, you, and Tim Dillon.
Yes.
But then Tim Dillon moved out to L.A. and has moved into the desert.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed. But he's moved to the desert. But no, we go on the road together a lot.
Always, yeah.
And we always find ourselves in laughing fits.
Hysterical.
And we're just like, why don't we just try to bring the joy to other people?
No, dude, I'm down for it. I'm excited to do this. We have our man Homeless Pimp, which by the way, we've said some of the hardest we've ever laughed is, we like a guy who's got a funny name, a wild name. I don't know him personally, but anytime we hear Machine Gun Kelly, it's just a it's very funny to think about. We were in Denver with Pete Davidson was performing there, and it was one of those things where Pete Davidson hangs out with Machine Gun Kelly a lot. And we're in the green room of the Denver Comedy Works. We're about to go, and then I said to Sal, "Do you want to go over to Denver Comedy Works?"
They were in the green.
You were headlining the theater. I was opening for you at the theater, and then Pete was headlining Comedy Works Denver. He was just there with him, Ricky Velez.
He did that thing. Pete could do that. It's crazy.
Just shows up.
Shay and Pete do that.
Yeah.
I think they're like, I think I'm going to perform this weekend at this place. And then there's like 8
sold
shows.
Out. 8 shows sold out.
I was like, I was very lucky to perform at the Paramount, I think it was. I think they share, I think they run.
I think it's all like the same owners of Bookers, yeah.
But I was happy, but I do have to sell for like 6 to 8 months to get that done.
And it's one of those things where it's like, where
comics,
they're there in Denver. And we're like, let's go hang out. And then, Ricky texts me, great Ricky Velez, great comic, awesome, good friend of mine. And he says, yeah, he goes, there's room in here. It's a little tight. He said, because, Pete's here and then also Machine Gun Kelly. And then you have to ask yourself, I'm a fan of Machine Gun Kelly's music. Sal is. You have to ask yourself, I said to myself, we're in the van on the way there. And I said, I got a 3-year-old daughter. Sal's 40. Are we going to be are we at a point in our lives right now where we want to be sharing a space, albeit we're fans, with a guy who goes by Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
Has that ship sailed? And, it's nothing against him.
No, he might be terrific. It's just that something comes with a name.
Right.
I just said to you, I feel like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
So when I say that, you get a sense of what I mean.
Right.
When someone has an automatic weapon in their name.
In their name.
Yeah, I don't know what we're stepping into.
One day you want to have a family and all
Yeah,
that.
of course.
And I have my daughter. And I just feel like, the Machine Gun Kelly, it's like something you do when you're in your 20s. You want to have a party a little bit. Not when
those guys are still in their 20s, I think. Well, Pete is, right? Pete's in his 20s.
Pete's a young kid.
Ricky might be 30-ish. But they're still you know what? They still haven't worried. Like, they have never thought minute on the lips, lifetime on the hips.
No.
They have never thought that.
No.
They're very thin, and I don't think they work at it.
Yeah, which, by the way,
that sets us apart.
Ricky Velez, if you don't know, Ricky Velez, if you should know his comedy, but just in case you don't, he was in Pete's movie King of Staten Island, which just came out. Great movie. Go check it out. But what was funny to me about that movie is when Ricky got shot in the movie.
I want to see it. So I was
you haven't seen it?
No, I want to.
So I just told you, Ricky got shot. Sorry.
He gets shot?
Ricky gets
For
shot.
real? That must have been so fun to shoot. I got to ask him about
Ricky
that.
gets shot and then goes to jail, but then you never find out what happened to him. You never find out anything.
Get out of
Get
here.
out of jail. The movie just ends, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to constantly now think about, is Ricky dead or alive, and how long was his prison term?
Wow.
Yeah.
But more so, we were laughing because we were pontificating. What do you call Machine Gun Kelly when you know him?
Like, is it?
Do you call him Machine?
Do you call him Machine, or like, what about when he's going to the doctor's office? Is it Mr. Kelly?
I wonder.
This way or Mr. Machine?
Do you know if his real name? He's not Kelly. That's a whole moniker. What is Machine Gun Kelly's?
Yeah, Mike's gonna look up.
They probably call him his real name.
Which I don't know what it is.
But they wouldn't tell us that Bill Smith is there because we don't know who that is.
Right.
So Ricky has to tell you Machine Gun Kelly, and then we say, like, I don't know if I'm going to go, hi, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know what I would say.
Sal.
Yeah, hey, it's, yeah, Mr. Machine, or yeah, Mr. Gun.
Mr. Gun. Oh, God. Okay. So. His name's Richard Colson Baker. Oh, I remember that. Colson. Yeah, Colson. Yeah. Oh, I thought his first name was Colson. Okay.
Richard Colson Baker.
Oh, so Rich. They call him Rich?
I don't know what you call.
Does anyone know what you call him?
Call Machine. Like, but what do you call any of these people? Like,
I don't know.
You know, like, what do you call freaking anybody?
The Weekend.
The Weekend. What do you call the Weekend?
Hi, The Weekend.
Hi, the Weekend.
And you don't want to disrespect. You don't want to shorten it. You don't want to say, "Well, it's a weekend."
Yeah.
Hey, you don't know me like that.
Yeah. Like, what do you say?
Please.
Like, hey, Weekend. Have
Please,
a good
my
weekend?
father was Weekend. Call me the.
Yeah, like, 'cause, yeah, the Weekend. Yeah, what do you call it? Yeah.
I don't know. They probably call him his real name. That's probably what it is.
Does anybody know
Did
his
we
real
make
name?
a mistake not making like fake names for ourselves for the public?
It's one of those
Right?
things. I think we did, in a sense, but it's one of those things
What would be your name?
where it's like, I don't know what my name would be.
Well, what are you talking about? You have 100 nicknames.
I know. I have 100.
It's Chrissy, then whatever you feel.
Chrissy, whatever. Yeah, Chrissy Conquistador. Yeah, Chrissy Bitch Hips. Like, whatever.
Crystal Clear Chrissy.
Crystal Clear Chrissy. Chrissy Conspiracies. Yeah. Chrissy Colonoscopies. I could just. So I guess I do have the names, but I feel as if, like, being a white guy in entertainment, we go by usually the first and last name, and a black comedian usually will go by a nickname or just their first name.
Or like a natural disaster.
Earthquake. Yeah. Earthquake. Yeah. So
he goes on tour with Tsunami and...
he goes on tour with Tsunami, Volcano. He can go on tour with you. I think, as far as that goes, I mean, with Machine Gun Kelly, it's interesting. I just always remember, anytime I think of Denver, I think of us laughing about Machine Gun Kelly, about just...
I don't know how to say hello.
Yeah, I don't know how to say hello. So,
no, I know he probably goes, "Hey, I'm Rich." Or whatever,
but the thing is with guys like Sal and I, is you have to understand, normal people would say, "Oh, we don't know what we'll call him, but we'll figure it out when we get there." Sal and I didn't show up because we weren't sure what to call Machine Gun Kelly. So I made up an excuse and said we're not coming, and then we just went to Sal's room and smoked sativa.
Yeah, that's sativa.
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 Sativa is you put in
I
your
think
coffee.
that's stevia.
Oh, stevia.
Yeah, we smoke sweet and low.
Yeah, we smoke sweet and low because kids don't do drugs.
But like that is how I live my life, and I also wonder how I have any even mild success because I am a coward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm scared. No, I'm not a coward, but I won't back down, and I'll stand my ground. But I also am scared of a lot.
Right.
I'm scared. Not confrontation. You know what? No. You know what? I take everything I just said back. I'm free associating my feelings right now, and I realize that was misguided. I don't like to be met with any type of opposition. I don't mean opposition, but like
you're not confrontational.
If there's an issue,
I was Chrissy confrontational, we wouldn't be friends.
Right.
Right.
But if we're like, are we supposed to hang out with Machine Gun Kelly?
Right.
I would say like I don't even want to find out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's I kind of being your friend now for.
That's probably why I never ended up sleeping with Cindy Crawford, and I had a chance.
And you had a chance, but you were like, "What am I going to do?" I know it'd be great.
Can you imagine?
I would.
She was my number one.
Yeah.
It was Alyssa Milano in like grammar school, but then when I got to college, Cindy Crawford.
I would say the thing that I've masturbated to the most in my life is Jamie Lee Curtis dancing in True Lies.
True Lies.
Because there's a little bit of a nip slip around minute 47:01.
But you've seen Trading Places.
No. I've never seen Trading Places or The Godfather.
You've never seen Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy?
No. I got a story about Dan Aykroyd, though.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story about Dan Aykroyd?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I'll stop. I mean, even if I have, I won't stop you so they can hear.
Okay. So So again, the thing is, my dad sometimes tells tall tales.
Yeah.
But when my mother co-signs it, then you know it's true.
Sure.
So my mom, very young when she was pregnant with me, 23, 24 years old, beautiful woman. And my dad's like, just my dad, right? So they're out. My mother's pregnant. They're laying in Central Park. She has a blanket covering her.
Your dad went to a picnic date?
Yeah, my dad went to a picnic.
From what I know, I can't even believe it.
I'm telling you.
He was definitely in like black socks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Black socks, freaking Yankees, batting practice, jersey, 100%.
Yeah.
So my dad...
He bought like a salami log.
Yeah.
Like just something, but then didn't cut it on crackers. He just bit it like a...
Bit it like that? Well, did I ever tell you about the time real quick? My dad...
Here's what me and you are going to need to do. Because we might be able to call this like ADHD because we have to remember what to come back to.
Well, should we call this podcast to tell you about the time? Did I tell you about the time?
All right, that's on the table now too. Okay.
Okay, so
go Salami, go back to Dan Aykroyd, then I'll come back to Trading Places with Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's what we'll do.
Okay.
So we'll do 1, 2, 3. So wait, so I'm gonna go with the Salami first to tell our story, to get us back to Central Park, and then I want to end with Trading Places.
To Curtis.
So my dad, when I was like 13, 14 years old, he used to come to my mother's house to watch me or whatever, and we had a dog named Cruella. It was a Dalmatian. We named Cruella, and she had a chew toy that looked like a piece of salami, and my dad didn't know that, and I was in the bathroom, and my dad cut a piece of our chew toy and ate it, and again, ate it, and again,
put it in his mouth.
No, he ate it, and then again,
his brain, the synapses didn't connect. He didn't realize it didn't taste like Genoa.
My dad's a full monster.
He just swallowed that's what do you call that stuff that's in plastic that gives you cancer?
Styrofoam or something? I don't know what it is.
What's PB free?
Is it
parabens?
What is it called? I don't know.
Your dad's swallowing a chew toy before he realized it doesn't taste like cured meat?
Yeah, he's so again, we have no idea. Then I don't know because he doesn't tell me. He thought he just ate a piece of salami while I was in the bathroom. So then we go out and he would take me to Farmers Oval Park in Ridgewood, Queens, and I would shoot jump shots and he would grab the rebounds. And then he was grabbing the rebounds and he goes, "They got a bathroom over here?" and then I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I mean, it's the park. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, let me see." So he comes out. There's no bathroom. He goes, "Chris, it's an emergency. I'm gonna have to go behind a tree. I can't. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to do it." I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Your mother overcooked the salami again."
You're shitting me.
I swear to God.
How is your dad not a billionaire?
I know.
He needs his own show.
I know.
And everyone needs to just shut up.
Well, I'll tell you what. I had another. I'm Chrissy. The other nickname I have is Chrissy Pilots. I always get a pilot, and then my show never gets picked up, which is the same. I had an animated show in development for Comedy Central. I was just told yesterday it's gone.
Oh,
yeah, gone.
That's all right. We're gonna breathe new life into that elsewhere.
All right, that's
Comedy Central isn't the buck doesn't stop.
Oh yeah,
there.
Comedy Central. My special size 36 waist gone. Animated show gone.
Which is it's follow up to size 38 waist.
I was gonna.
And all the work you did to drop the 2 inches.
Yeah, now it's like with the depression, it might be size 40 waist now.
Oh my God!
What can you do?
Either one works as long as you're not still 38.
But I will tell you, it is my goal in life to have hopefully 5 comedy specials and everyone be the waist size that will never deviate.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love that.
I want
Another reason I wanted to do this podcast is exactly what just happened. So we tour together. We spend a lot of time together.
We talk all the time.
Sometimes we're together for like 4, 5, 6 days in a row, morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, shows, green rooms, right?
Yeah.
And we have shared a lot of personal stories.
Absolutely.
You have a superpower. I don't know what it is, and I say this to you all the time. I always think I've heard every story.
Right.
And then you'll drop a story on me where your dad ate a chew toy of salami and thought it was real, and almost had to be hospitalized.
Right.
That's like a story you lead with.
Yeah.
Never heard it.
No.
Do you tell that story, or it didn't occur to you until I said salami?
I didn't think of it.
Does it bang around in the back and you just never really?
I've remembered that time, but I've never even thought to say it anywhere because very rarely in my podcast where we talk about salami.
Right. Well, my point is, and I say this all the time, like, how have you never told me that? I always say that to you.
Right.
How have you never told me that?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, you have. I said people need to hear these stories.
Yeah, well, this is the podcast where we'll feel like we're hearing them.
People need to hear these stories.
People need to hear these stories with Sal and Chris.
It's on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table. So yeah, Mike's marking it down on what's on the table. Homeless pimp is what we'll call. Well, we'll call him homeless pimp, but we call him Mike. But you guys call him homeless pimp.
I asked him earlier. Talk to me.
You look great, by the way.
Well, you know what it is. I'm just trying to look like.
I mean, I got my fucking thigh out. It's brutal.
I'm putting this here to hide.
Yeah, you know.
Hide half of the hut.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Now I'm comfortable.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you.
I asked him why homeless pimp, and he just said, it was a name he picked for his Xbox name long ago, and it stuck.
And
is that right?
Yeah. No, it's good. Well, because it's like, he's such a phenomenal, video guy and takes phenomenal pictures.
Oh.
And it's just like,
We were like, he's going to help us. I thought he was going to come up here and turn on an iPhone 7 Plus.
No.
And then we were going to and I was going to, I don't know if people could see this, but there is so much equipment. When he rang my bell, I opened the door and he had a cart full of like equipment. And he goes, I'm going to need to make. It was already full of equipment. Yeah. And he goes, I'm going to need to make a few more trips. I was like, whoa, this is no
He doesn't
joke.
fuck around. I mean, Sal, because by the way, we're coming live to you from Sal Vulcano Studios. We're in Sal Vulcano's room in Sal's house.
Yeah, that's it.
So Sal's got one half of his apartment.
This is a joke. This is not, I don't keep this up in life. I should because it's funny, but I'm not that guy.
Did you pose for that? What's the story with this?
So, no, I did. I posed. Yeah, I did. So it was season 4 or 5. They had the idea to do the ad campaign to be all of us superimposed into old paintings.
Okay.
And so they said I was going to be Sal with the pearl earring. And so I looked at, I literally had the picture in front of me, the real one. And I was trying to like recreate over the shoulder. And then they sent us this as a gift. I thought it was hysterical. And I ended up putting it up for the show Dinner Party we're doing.
Yeah.
So I put it up for that as a goof. And then we didn't want it to be a white wall, and so we just kept this up. I don't want anyone to think I'm some type of weird like guy who has oil paintings of himself up in his house.
If it's up to me, I say we keep this until one of the fans of the show would like to make an oil painting of Sal and Chris.
That's right.
Then we can move it out.
Maybe when we figure out what the name of the show is,
they
can make it like an oil painting, and we'll that'll be the branding, and we'll hang that up here.
Yeah, that's good. So he eats a salami. So that's 2001. I want to take it back to 1983.
Yeah.
Late 1980. Oh, well, I was born in August of 84. So this is the summer of 84. My mom's
Mattingly's rookie year, 83.
I think it was. Yeah, I'm wearing a Mattingly jersey right now.
Yeah, that's very nice.
My mom is laying down, 8 months pregnant. She's got a blanket over her. They're having a picnic at Central Park, which I'm sure my father was dragged to. They go. My dad says, I got to go take a piss. Goes up in Central Park in public, starts pissing behind a tree. Okay? This is real. Starts peeing behind a tree just as only my dad could do.
Eventually, I want to know what your dad's parents were like.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want to go. I want to get there.
Yeah. Well, I think on the show we can explore that because I've actually never thought to ask what his parents were like. They both died before I was born. Okay. So, but with that, my dad's peeing behind a tree in public in Central Park, Sheep's Meadow, whatever. Yeah. With that, 1984.
The Strawberry Fields.
Everything. Just pissing on it. Dan Aykroyd comes rollerblading by. I
forgot this was about Dan Aykroyd. I forgot, and this was like a M. Night Shyamalan type twist for me.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd, that's what made me think of it. Dan Aykroyd comes rollerblading by, stops, starts flirting with my mother. My father sees there was a branch by a tree, chases Dan Aykroyd with the tree branch, and Aykroyd rollerblades by, and then with all that, it's Dan Aykroyd. It's Dan Aykroyd. But my dad.
That's at his height.
At his height. But from what my mother said, my dad yelled at Dan Aykroyd, "Fuck you, Bill Murray. Stay away from my wife."
oh, that stings.
It stings. So he called him.
Did he know or did he not know?
My dad knew that because Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray were very famous.
No, but did your dad think he was Bill Murray, which is what I think? But if your dad had the wherewithal to call him the wrong name because he'd think it would bite him in the ass, like insult him, or no?
No, my dad
just thought he was Bill Murray.
I think my dad thought it was Bill Murray because that's not the first time my father has done that. Did I ever tell you? wait! I go. You go Trading Places, and I'll tell you this.
I don't even have a story. All I'm telling you is she does full topless in Trading Places for like extended seconds. She's just beautiful, all natch.
Wow,
natty ice.
It's in the bank. That's in the bank.
And God bless that woman.
Yeah,
I love her so much.
Yeah.
And now, I see her in the yoga commercials, and I have fond memories of that. Yeah, Trading Places. Yeah.
So
she's, by the way, she also was the spokesperson. She was with when T-Mobile was voice stream like 20-something years ago, she was, I believe, the face of all of T-Mobile, of voice stream it was called.
Really?
Yeah, she went
That had to be a
hard.
lot of
She went
cash.
hard in endorsements.
Yeah, well, I mean that's where the money's at.
Activia.
Oh, Activia, yeah. The only way
Got cultured, yeah.
the only
Live and active.
anytime I'm having a problem pooping, Activia is where
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And now she did the Halloween again. I would love to have her career.
I would love to have her on the podcast.
I would love to have a career. I would love to have a career.
We're gonna get some great guests on this podcast.
That'd be wonderful.
It's gonna be fun.
If she's probably listening.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, Jamie Lee. How are you? Jamie Lee looks exactly like one of my aunts, so it's strange sometimes when when you're like, oh, Jamie Lee, you're attracted to her, but it looks like one of my aunts.
Yeah.
So what can you do? Yeah. But yeah, there was a time where my dad, we were sitting at Joe's Pizza in the West Village. We're sitting there. I was about 19.
My favorite slice.
Fantastic. Joe's Pizza. If you're ever in New York, hit the West Village, go to Joe's Pizza. We're sitting there having a slice. And I forgot what we were doing in the city. Maybe we were on our way to a Knicks game or something like that. My dad would always take me. That was my dad's incentive for doing good in school or cleaning my room, whatever. It's like we go to a Knicks game.
Oh, Knicks game.
Yeah, Joe's. You want a square?
One slice.
Yeah. So we're there, and Joe's gets a lot of celebrities that come in there, and Steven Tyler comes in from Aerosmith.
Oh wow.
Right. He comes in, and my dad's like, "Oh, this freaking guy, Steven Tyler." And he starts sitting down. Steven Tyler just standing there, starts cutting his pizza with a knife and a fork. And my dad goes, I can't believe this freaking guy with a knife and a fork eating the pizza in New York City like that. He goes, I got to tell him something. He goes, hey, Bon Jovi, that's not how we do this. And then people were like, what? Is Bon Jovi? Because nobody even noticed Steven Tyler. I was the only one that noticed him. Well, not I was the only one that noticed him, but he's, conspicuous or whatever.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, yeah, I fucking... And then my dad just keeps saying, he's like, yeah, Bon Jovi. I kept saying, Dad, there's Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. But my dad, like when he dropped me off that night, my mom was like, we met Bon Jovi. I'm like, it's not Bon Jovi. It's not John Bon Jovi. It's a different guy.
It's my first concert ever.
Yeah.
June 29, 1989.
John Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, New Jersey at Giant Stadium. They
Right.
filmed a video to Lay Your Hands on Me. Well, what's questionable? Here's the thing. First concert I ever bought a ticket for was Poison, Nassau Coliseum, February 14th, 1989.
Interesting.
I didn't end up going.
Right.
So it's like the first one I actually physically went to was Bon Jovi. I now have met Bon Jovi, sweetest guy in the world.
I would. Bon Jovi seems like he's a really just nice, down-to-earth guy. He's got a very interesting haircut too. Does he still have like his hair? Like, how's his hair now?
Well, don't let me. That wasn't. We don't like. I don't know what his hair looks like right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have met him. He has invited us to see him play. His family watched the show, and so
Right.
his wife and children have been on set. And actually, one of his oldest daughters actually is a colleague of mine.
Really?
Yeah, she works on the show.
I've been to one concert and one concert only in my entire life, and that's Britney Spears' The Circus, Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, 2006. That's the only concert I've ever been to in my life, period. I've never been to a concert.
I can't even. I don't know where to begin. I
swear to God.
I feel like I'm gonna just fucking combust right now. What? I don't understand this. Otherwise you appear normal on the surface.
I know.
You've been to one live music event concert.
One live
A
music.
proper concert. You've been to one in your lifetime.
One.
You're in your mid-30s.
I'm 35 years old.
I mean, how accurate was that?
Yeah. If you want to consider that mid-30s, I'll take your word for it.
Wait a minute. When? Where? When?
Britney Spears' The Circus to Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, 2006.
So 14 years ago, when you were 21 years of age,
Yeah.
What context did you decide to finally go to a concert?
My girlfriend at the time said, I got last minute tickets to Britney Spears' The Circus.
Yeah.
Do you want to come? I said, I've never been to a concert. This will be my first of many. Let's do it. I had a great time. Never went to another concert again.
Nothing in you love the 1975.
I was just going to say the 1975 is my favorite band. I had tickets in my hand for them. May 25th, 2020, MSG. Pandemic happens. COVID City. So if I would have been to a second concert, but China got in the way.
You don't pine to see music or bands that you love or icons before they go away, or you don't ever want to be like, or even just a live music experience outdoors, even
right,
like a Central Park lawn, or when they have these festivals with like, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of outgrew that a little bit. I don't need to be trudging around in the heat and humidity where that holds you down with water, so you don't die.
Yeah, I don't want to do
and
that.
I'm sneaking in a bottle full of vodka, like a Aquafina bottle full of vodka underneath my sack. I've done it, but I'm past it. Now I like to go in the box. If I have the extra money, I spend it and I go enjoy it like an adult.
Like an adult.
Like, well, not an adult, like an older person, I think.
Right.
I mean, but I've been to, I will call it, let me think about this. First concert, I was 12. I was 13. I was 12. I was 12 and a half. And when did we stop halves? If I was like, if I told you I was 43 and a half, would you think anything different of me?
I would think that it's odd. But I would say,
but what I mean, you know, what,
but I mean, but
why is it odd? I'm literally giving you my age, though.
Yeah,
like if I turned 43 yesterday, or if I was going to turn 44 in a week, I would mention that.
Right.
If I'm in the halfway mark and I say I'm 43 and a half, all of a sudden I'm some weirdo.
I've never thought about that. I would say maybe at 10 you stop. Like you can't say I'm 10 and a half.
You know why half? You know why? Because as a kid, you want to prove that you're older than you are, because you associate that with being cooler, more mature, hanging out with the older kids, getting allowed to do more things.
Right.
You know, and then somewhere along the line, you pump those brakes.
Yeah, when then you start to say, I'm in my early 30s, my mid 30s, or my late 30s.
Right.
Which I'm in. So now let me ask you this question. When I turn 36, am I in my mid or my late now? Am I going into my late 30s?
Mid to late, that's a mouthful, though.
I'm in my mid to late 30s.
No, you say mid.
I'm in my mid 30s to when, though?
34, 35, 36 is mid.
37, I have to, if I'm going to tell the truth to people, which is what I want to do on this podcast, I have to say late.
Mid to late. You're at the end of mid, at the beginning of late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
38, 39, you have to say I'm in my late 30s then.
I'm just about 40, you say probably.
I'm just about 40. Right.
Nah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's interesting. Did something happen when you turned 40? Sorry.
Mentally? Yeah. I tell you, I got less sharp.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I think 50 is going to be the big one.
50 is the big one, yeah.
50, and which I'm now 7 years from, or not even. I'm 6.5 years.
6.5 years.
50 is different. 50 is grandparent age.
Yeah.
It's I think it is, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the interesting.
Minus 20. Is it like if you have a kid let's say if you have a kid at 25,
right,
and at 45 your 20-year-old has a kid, you could be in your 50s.
Yeah, like I had my daughter at 30. When I'm 55, yeah, she'll be 25.
Within reason. I know there's younger grandparents and older, but I think that's right. I just think it's like then you got to get all the tests. Everything's got to go up your ass. Everything like that.
I know.
But
it's interesting because Giannis. I do the podcast with Giannis, History Hyenas, and we've been making fun of him because he's got a kid on the way. And he's 45, going to be 46. So we're like, when your kid is in kindergarten, you're going to be somebody's grandparent.
I mean, I have to have a family one day. I'm 43 right now. I don't have one. Like
you're going to be in the same boat?
I'm going to be in the exact same boat.
I mean, but what does that
it's
bother
now
you?
Or never. I mean, I really want my parents to know my children.
Right.
Everyone's healthy. So that's what I think on my mind the most. But also, like, my sister had my niece very young. My sister had her first child when she was young.
Wrong.
In her 20s, but younger. And now my 16, niece is about to be 20, and my sister's only in her 40s.
And that's
I think that they get a lot more life together.
Yeah.
Like
do you regret not having? Do you wish you would have had children in your 30s or 20s?
I don't regret how my life has gone and where I am and who I know and how I spend my time. But I don't know if I would call it regret. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I had a kid, I think a lot of things would be different right now.
Right.
But also, you're telling me that the thing I'm going to love the most in this world, I would have had another 20 years with.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
I do.
Yeah, because I'll say, like, being a father, like, I'm 35, I have a 5-year-old. I felt like having a child at 30 felt right for me, even though it was a surprise thing.
30's nice.
Because I'm like, you know what? When she's 21, I'll be 51. Certainly not young, but not so old that I can't do anything with her. And I was just thinking, like,
you might even like some of the same music. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like
I think you said you might even like some of her friends. I thought you were about to say you might even be able to hook up.
You might be able to go to concert number 2 with her.
Yeah, with one of you. No, so I feel like it's a nice place, but being a parent,
you split the difference.
I split the difference. But being a parent, it's just like you got to be able to sacrifice. It's just there's so much sacrificing that goes on. Like I still feel very young, being in my mid 30s, approaching my mid to late 30s. I
approaching mid to late.
yeah. So I find that the thing that, the only not that there's a drawback, but it's just like, there's a lot of my friends don't have kids yet, and they're they're doing fun things, going to bars, doing things like that, where I can't do that because I'm like, with my daughter and doing that. But if we're a guy, like if you're saying when you want to start a family, if you're 45, I think the urge in your mid 40s to go out and want to stay out to 4 o'clock in the morning is almost non-existent as compared to your mid 30s.
It does not exist.
So it doesn't exist. So in other words, you're naturally, what the hell, you're going to stay home with your kid anyway. Where sometimes with me and my kid's mom, we're like still young enough. We're like, we want to go out to 5 in the morning once in a while, but we don't. And it's not that it's a big deal, but that is, I think, a benefit of having a child later is your body and mind, regardless, was already like, I'm fucking done with the party life.
But then if I croak at 75, I don't really have any time with anybody. It's a real tragedy after that.
But I mean, do you really want to live? I mean, who are these people that want to live to 130 anyway? I mean,
I wouldn't mind it as long as I'm not just like dragging myself around.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't know if I really want
to. Fun old guy. Though.
I don't want to. I don't know if I want to live to see what the fuck's going to happen with this earth.
Yeah.
But then again, if I bring a kid into it, they got to deal with it.
Right.
I don't know. It's a tough time to think about having a kid, but like I'm ready. Like if I don't have it now, like if I don't have one, I need to start a family sooner than later.
Right.
Because I can't start at like 50 something. I mean, people are doing it, but it's so not ideal.
Also, like taking your apple cider vinegar. What's going on?
But I haven't. Like the last decade, I've been just busting my ass with work, and I guess you always find a way to make it work. But if I had a kid, maybe I wouldn't have been able to push the limits and create as many opportunities for myself. You never know. I don't really know now.
You're also the ultimate You're the ultimate funkle, I would think. Is Mr. Sal Vulcano.
I take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
I basically since I didn't have kids, I helped raise. I don't want to say help raise, but I was very, very prominent in every niece and nephew's life.
Yeah.
So
I was in shock one day when I came into the house and we were hanging out and I saw what I thought was a script. I was like, would you get like a new movie role? They're like, no, it's my Christmas list for my family. I mean, this guy must have had about 100 pages of items for everybody to say. If you are a member of the Sal Vulcano family, you're getting a Christmas gift. It doesn't fucking matter how extended it is. You're getting a gift.
I didn't know you saw that.
I mean, it was a list. Like this, and I was like, that's how you know.
I'm a big Christmas guy, though. I'm a big Christmas guy, and I'm a big family guy. You put those together, it's fireworks.
Now, do you play Santa for the kids?
I did my whole life.
Yeah,
I did. I used to put the thing on. They put them to bed.
Yeah.
And then I wake them up cold.
Yeah.
So they're disheveled.
Yeah.
But I had the glasses and the beard, so they wouldn't know it was me.
Yeah.
Then when they got a little older, I would ring the bell and drop the presents off, and then they'd hear me at the front door.
Right.
But then when they woke up and they got to their door across the hall, I'd be at the front door being like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Because at that point, I didn't want to recognize me.
Yeah.
And then a really tragic thing happened. One time I was going to do it, and my youngest at the time. Now I have a new 1-year-old and a 1-year-old nephew, a 2-year-old niece,
right.
And I have younger nephews that live across the country. But for here, sometimes they'll visit for Christmas. But when it's just the family here, I had my youngest niece at the time was 10.
Yeah.
And the older ones get in their ear, and then maybe the younger ones find out a little sooner than the older ones did because they have an in.
Yeah.
Like an informant.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you got to go to bed. You got to, Santa's coming tonight. And then I saw the youngest one with the second youngest one look and share a look like.
They know.
And what they were doing then is how I don't reveal Santa's.
Yeah.
Whoever's.
Yeah.
I don't reveal the truth about Santa, whatever that may be.
Right.
I don't know who's listening to this. But what I realize is I'm protecting them and keeping the magic alive. The role reversed, and they didn't tell me that they already had an idea to protect me, to save my magic, because they know how magical it is that I love that.
They broke your heart.
They broke my heart, but they didn't want to. They didn't show me that they knew.
Right.
They shared a look with each other. I caught the look, but it's to say let's go to bed, but we know what's going on.
We know what's going on.
And
so
then
you
but they didn't look at me. And so when they walked in the room, I actually shed tears.
Yeah.
Because I was like the hunt, not this, but the hunter becomes the hunted.
Yeah.
Not that, but something flipped there. The script was flipped, and they were protecting me from not knowing that they knew the truth about whatever you want to tell your kids the truth about Santa.
You see that? That's a way, and
that's like how life works. Eventually, you start taking care of your parents like they took care of you.
Exactly. I found out Santa wasn't real. Again, all true story. Queen Center Mall.
Well,
yeah.
alleged.
Oh, yeah, right. I found out allegedly Santa's still not real. Yeah. 1991, I'm 7 years old. I never even thought about questioning, this person. But 1991, Queen Center Mall, where I would always go to get pictures taken for, with Santa. It's a different Santa, a nice blue-eyed Santa. My mother's, young, pretty woman, as I said. My mother and Santa hit it off. They start dating.
You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? We've maybe logged in 20,000 hours of conversation before this. I've never heard this. How do you not lead with these stories?
I forget
Your mom
them.
started banging the mall Santa?
The mall Santa.
Oh, my God.
My mom, so then goes on a date with the mall Santa and has to tell me that January, February, that's where they met, because I heard them talking and I knew who it was. And my mom just had to say, listen, that's not Santa, it's Gary. So my mom dated Gary for about 2 years, but the positive thing.
And also, that's seasonal. What's Gary doing for Scott Hole when he's not there?
So used car salesman.
No, he wasn't.
I swear, yeah.
No, he wasn't.
I swear to God.
He was a dual used car salesman / mall Santa, Gary.
Nissan on Northern Boulevard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep. So.
But why didn't she just tell you that was Santa's helper?
Because
why did your world have to come crashing down around you?
Because it was 1991.
It was either Christmas gifts or a really good deal on an Altima.
So because 1991, Gary Claus, instead of don't forget, there's no cell phone, it's not a digital world.
Right.
Gary didn't want to let my mom slip away because he really felt he had a connection. So he had to put me down and get one of his elves to go get a pen and paper so he could write down my mother's phone number. And there was no way that this couldn't happen in front of me. So I watched this whole thing happen.
Shit.
And the only option after that, after they hit off and started to actually officially date, was to tell me that, hey, Chris, again, your kid, this guy, Gary is Santa.
Gary is not the real Santa.
So then I said, how does Gary get the gifts to everybody? Like, what is Gary, I don't understand. Like, so Gary you're dating like the real guy?
Your brain is not putting the, you can't.
Because I'm like, I see everywhere, like, is Gary, like, are we safe? Like, what is a major celebrity? Like, I was like, can he introduce me to Michael Jordan? Like, I was like, what can I get out of Gary?
Sure.
Like, go to school and be like, yeah, my mom dates Santa. So if you guys need anything, I'm the guy. So, and then to prevent me from thinking that, Gary is actually Santa and fucking with my mind, they just told me, hey, it's the thing that we tell people, but what Gary and I have is real love, and that's real, and talking about real love. And then they broke up.
Gary ruined Christmas.
And then my dad was pissed about that. My dad was like, it's bad enough you got to bring Gary in, but now, he ruins frickin' Santa for everybody. And my mother was like, Tony, you're in prison, so you're not doing much better here. You're calling us from jail.
Yeah. Wait, where's Gary today? How long did they date?
They dated.
I hope it was long, otherwise you got spared Christmas for no reason.
The back-to-back boyfriends my mom dealt with one was Gary Claus, Santa ruined it. Then
Don't tell me it was the fucking mall Easter Bunny.
No, the next guy, could you imagine? The next guy she dated, this guy, Chuck, okay, from Vermont. They went on a few dates. Chuck.
I'm like waiting. Oh my God, what is this going to be?
Yeah. Chuck comes, visits my mom. They go on a few dates. He's staying in a hotel, really likes my mom, whatever. Tells my mom, I want you to come to Vermont, and hang out with me for a weekend. My mom's like excited, but, I don't know if I want to go to Vermont. I get strep throat, which I get strep throat constantly. I still get strep throat.
I understand.
So I got strep throat. My mom has to cancel with Chuck. Chuck flips out, really angers my mother, flips out, whatever. My mom's like, I'm not talking to this guy anymore. It's my son. I'm sorry I can't make the weekend, whatever. Flips out. That night, goes and kills a bartender in some local bar in Vermont, life in prison. So my mother was dated Santa and then a murderer. Back to back. I swear to God.
You never brought that up.
91 to 93.
What are you doing? Are you like witness protection?
Yo, yeah. No.
Chuck flipped out that
Yeah.
you couldn't go to Vermont and killed somebody.
Killed someone
life in
that
prison.
night. Life in prison to this day. He might be able to listen to the podcast. I don't know what the new prison rules
You know
are
what?
with
This
COVID.
is how this is going. In like 4 podcasts, you're going to mention that Chuck was also your dad's prison inmate, but
Yeah.
you just decided not to mention that either.
Well, how about this? So
How about this?
Well, how about this?
Put it on the docket.
Put it on the list. So 91 to 91, 93, 95 is every other year. It gets wild. So 91, my mom dates Santa. 93, Chuck the murderer. 95,
Chuck the murderer.
Chuck the murderer. There's a rekindling of my mother and my father. Comes back. My father.
That I knew about.
So my father. Do you know what happens though?
Tell me.
Okay. So 95, my father comes back. He's in the house, Sal, for a week. 1 week.
This I
Okay.
I don't remember, but I remember it.
He's in the house for a week. I'm excited. I'm like first it was Santa. Now then that guy murders. Finally, I got my dad back.
Right.
I feel safe. Everything's good. So the Knicks are playing the Pacers in the finals.
Oh yeah, that was what Reggie Miller.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's a big compulsive gambler. That's why I got thrown out in the first place. Gambles, whatever. We're in there a week. My mother's cooking dinner. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. It's amazing. I can still smell the mashed potatoes. Patrick Ewing goes up for a finger roll at the buzzer when he should have dunked the ball that would beat the Pacers and they would have moved on.
I remember it.
The finger roll backs out, but finger roll instead of dunking it, bounce off the back rim. My dad says, "Fucking Ewing every time." Grabs a trophy that was on a shelf right behind the couch, throws it through the TV. My mother doesn't even turn around, is mixing the mashed potatoes, goes, "Tony, pack your shit up and get out." Last time my father was ever in my house.
Holy sweet Christ.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
You know how I was saying, like, I don't like any confrontation? I'll piggyback real quick on the Santa.
Yeah.
I lose my first tooth.
Okay.
First one. I
Right.
get them. I get all the teeth.
Right.
And now I lose the first
Right.
one. Under the pillow, my mom tells me, you tooth fairy. And I heard about the tooth fairy.
Right.
I had friends that lost some teeth before. I
Right.
did.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, so tooth fairy. And she says, yeah, so, I never really thought about the tooth fairy until I lost a tooth. I knew of what it was, but I never really thought about coming into contact with the tooth fairy until I lost my first one.
Right.
So here comes I lose it, and we're going to bed, and she puts the tooth in an envelope.
Right.
And she's saying goodnight to me. She's putting it under my pillow, and I said, oh, this is terrific. So, at some point then, the tooth fairy's going to come, middle of the night.
Right.
And which I knew, but
Right.
again, now all of a sudden it's real.
Right.
It's real now for me.
Right.
At some point, they'll approach you. However she said it. However she said it didn't sound great.
Right.
At some time, a woman will enter this home tonight. She will approach you while you slumber, and she will put her hands underneath the pillow where you sleep. She'll take what she needs, and she'll put what she needs there, and she'll leave, and you'll never know. Like that.
Right.
She didn't say that, but she said the tooth fairy's going to come in the middle of the night, and she's going to swap this out. And I said, well, how's she getting in the house or whatever?
Right.
Well, it's like a magical, whatever she said, magical thing. She gets in here. And so she can enter and exit anytime she wants. Like, we would never know.
Right.
No, well, she just comes when you're missing teeth or whatever. I go, but what if I don't, want her to come or whatever?
Right.
Well, no, you lost a tooth. You put on, you're going to get money or whatever. And I said, all right, but I don't know, man. So she said goodnight. She went inside, turned the lights off. I laid there sweating bullets for about, I call it 3 hours.
Right.
Sweating bullets.
Right.
I went under the covers I was sealed.
Right.
I was yellow and blue makes green. It's sealed.
Sealed,
I zip-locked myself under the thing.
Yeah.
I was probably breathing in CO2 like nobody's business.
I was going to say, I can't believe you didn't die of carbon monoxide.
I know. And I'm soaked. I'm soaked. And I'm envisioning outside the comforter this woman that the tooth fairy, she wasn't nice looking.
Right.
She was like almost like the tooth fairy, but like she just wasn't pleasant at all.
Yeah.
And I just finally freaked the fuck out. I whipped the covers off of me, and oh no. I dozed eventually. This is what happened. I dozed eventually, and I woke up, and I was like, and I just was like, I reached under my pillow, and I was like, please don't tell me this woman came. And I pulled out an envelope full of coins. And I knew it was heavy, and it shook, and it went to ching, ching, and I knew immediately she had been there.
Right.
And I freaked the fuck out. I went, and I was like, what's the matter? She comes running. I go, this lady came in the house. This fucking coins. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had to lose more teeth, and I can't stop that. That's just biology.
Right.
So I was like, I don't ever want to see this woman again. No. I screamed. She literally was like, stop. I was hyperventilating. She goes, come with me. She walked me down the hallway into the kitchen, showed me the envelope with my tooth in it right there, and said, I'm the tooth fairy, okay?
Wow.
I'm the tooth fairy. So first tooth, first night, 3 hours in. I've never believed in a tooth fairy ever since then. So I did work out a deal where she gave me money in exchange for the tooth, but we handed it off to each other.
It was exchange.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I got it. I got your tooth delivery. But now let me ask you this quick.
Same reason I wouldn't go to machine. I just don't. I don't know. I wouldn't. What do I call a tooth fairy?
But did you do the thing that I did when it happened with Gary? Did you think that now the tooth fairy is made up, or did you just think you're the son of the actual tooth fairy?
No. I knew my mother told me a tall tale.
Right.
And that it was all bullshit. And then from then, I wonder if I extrapolated that and was like, what exactly is real? Because I never really bought into the Easter Bunny ever anyway.
Right.
Because the Easter Bunny's not a human. So you look at Santa, you're like, that's an old guy with a thing, and this is what he does.
Right.
But I knew that wasn't a bunny. I never seen a bunny like that before. Man.
Right.
A bunny is he's zipped up.
Yeah.
Santa is a human. He's flesh.
He's flat. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was never really buying into the bunny.
Yeah.
But now, once that came into play, the Tooth Fairy, I probably got cynical at an age when I really shouldn't have started to get cynical, but she had to do that for me to stop, to go back to bed and stop hyperventilating because I was so nervous. Because if you think about it, it's really not like, it's like this person's going to come through the walls and you're going to be sleeping and then she's going to fiddle around. Yeah, while you're sleeping.
The tooth fairy is one of those things where it's like, when my daughter loses her first tooth, I don't know what to do. It's also like, especially with even like Corona, it's like, am I going to put a germ corona? Am I going to put a dollar bill under her? I mean, she could get COVID in the eye.
Right.
So now it's like, I guess I'll just I have to Venmo her. That's what it is. From the Tooth Fairy.
Toothfairy@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I'm like, just check if you have anything from her.
Just
because of COVID, she can't go to houses.
She can't go to houses. Tooth Fairy, it's too much germs. Yeah, and this Tooth Fairy wears a mask and everything.
Hysterical. You're gonna have to Venmo her everything.
I'm gonna have to, that's what it is.
There's no holiday. Santa can't come in either.
No, nobody's coming. Not unless you got a mask on. You ain't coming.
I think it was the fact that like Santa doesn't really come in your bedroom.
No,
Santa goes in the living room.
Unless your room is the one that has the chimney, which it's just bad luck.
Yeah, but the odds are low.
Yeah,
odds are low if you're the baby with the chimney in your room.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know. I only know 3 people
that had the chimney in their rooms, and I know they're all fucked up now, man.
No, but like Santa's going into a communal space. Other people are in the home.
Yeah.
But this woman thinks she's going to sneak in the middle of the night in the dark, come in my room. This is a safety zone.
Well, let me ask. Yeah, because the thing is with Santa now, it's like, let me ask you this. Santa, okay, so Santa comes to my house. I live in New York. When he goes to Florida, is he waiting there for 14 days? Is he quarantining after he drops those pictures?
He can't. He can't unless someone's going to drop us a memo that Christmas is months long.
Yeah.
He can't do his job under the current conditions, and he's not above the law.
No. He may think he is, but I tell you what. He's going to find out the hard way.
It's going to be an interesting December.
Absolutely. It's going to be very
interesting. The first one of our lives.
Yeah, because how is he going to get all these gifts with quarantine? I don't know how he's going to do it. And then, do I have to disinfect? I don't know what the hell's going on in the North Pole. What have been their issue? Were they like Sweden, where everything was open? What are the corona numbers?
Also, they go year round. They don't have time to sleep.
They have no time to sleep.
You're telling me if one fucking dopey elf gets infected, they're all gone.
That's it. They're all done. Sneezy? You think I fucking trust Sneezy?
Yeah. Yeah, Vixen, Blixen, and Sneezy.
Oh, no, Sneezy's one of the 7 dwarfs, Snow White.
Yo, not for nothing, though. If the dwarfs are real, Sneezy's added luck.
Sneezy's out. I mean, unfortunately,
Sneezy's
out.
Luck.
Yep, I'm not.
I don't care if he has a mask on. If you're just sneezing nonstop behind the mask,
done.
Bro, I don't care. That N95 is going to, it only has so much power in it.
No, yeah.
Some holding power.
I got nothing to do. No, it's true.
You ever see a sneeze in slow motion on YouTube?
It's disgusting.
Don't.
You ever seen a fart on the red light? You ever seen like a fart, like when the smoke actually comes out of the ass?
Or whatever?
Yeah, and when people fart.
Like the heat?
When people fart in metal detectors and the X-ray machines at airports, we're gonna look at that.
Is that online?
Yeah, we're gonna look at those. Once we get this studio up to where we're gonna have it, that's gonna be the first video we watch.
Yeah, and by the way, if you've never seen a sneeze, like a slow motion sneeze, I'm gonna tell you, don't go look at it because I live my life a certain way because I've been exposed to things like this.
Right.
You see, when someone sneezes, it is similar to like someone bombing us.
Really?
Like it is billions. I mean, you can't even, it comes out at 100 miles an hour and it covers the whole room in a cloud of their germs. And that's what they're saying, like droplets, droplets.
Right. Yeah, like we're throwing droplets back and forth right now.
We're doing it right now, which is also why I was hesitant to do any shows.
Right.
Because if we're doing our job right, everyone's laughing and coughing and slapping and
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what are we
Droplets
doing
everywhere.
That's like
Good news for you though, and me in doing this podcast is I have a deviated septum, so I can't get a sneeze out. So I'll always be like, and it won't come out.
You don't sneeze.
I've never produced a sneeze in my life. I swear to God.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is very wild.
And I've went,
one concert, never sneezed.
Never sneezed.
No goat cheese.
No goat cheese.
Pork chop.
Yep.
Never saw Trading Places.
Yep.
Never saw
Santa was
The
my
Godfather.
stepfather. Yeah.
And Santa was your stepfather.
Yeah.
That
what
is
it is.
wild. That you
I mean,
don't
that's an
sneeze.
episode right there,
That
folks.
is. That's
whatever we decide to name.
We didn't know what it's going to be. I don't know.
Could it still be? I mean, listen, in post we could do anything. I like Sal and Chris present Hey Babe, but then we also have a couple of them we said, going to tell you this. Did you write them down, Mike, or we'll have to listen back? We'll listen back, but there's a couple of ideas in there that we can listen back.
Did I? Yeah, I forgot what they were. Let me tell you this. Did I ever tell you that?
Let me tell you this. Did I ever tell you this?
What about this one? I forgot what they were.
What about that?
Hey,
Yeah.
babe, they're all good.
It's all good.
We're still figuring it out. By the time this comes out, maybe we'll have banked a couple and decided on our own.
Yeah.
Or no, or does this come out with no name?
No, we could.
Oh no, because this is going to come out with a name, so we will have decided.
Well, if by anything, well, at least we'll do in the before this podcast episode. Once we've decided name, we'll say, "Hey guys, you're listening to whatever we say," and then the episode will play. But the people are hearing this right now. We might as well just leave this in. I want to do no edits, besides the one thing that I said.
Yeah.
I want to do no edits, besides if it's a huge mistake. But other than that, we'll just
also like no rules, right?
No rules.
No rules. Because like if we want to do a whole episode on like something true crime, like
we
you
do that.
Brought that up too.
Yeah.
Like whatever interests us. Whatever interests us. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah. I've been watching Ancient Aliens. I'd love to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
All right. There it is.
So that's for I liked it.
I liked it.
I had so
that
much
was
fun.
an hour.
This
right?
this is exactly like what we do in the hotel room with no mic.
All right.